That's a lot of rain, and
It's days like this that I question the wisdom of my decisions. It's 5 degrees, it's raining, it's a bit wet and miserable, and we're going snowshoeing.
I was half thinking of skiing and testing out my new touring setup, but I don't think the snowpack's going to do it for me. So yeah, I don't think I'll be skiing through that. So opted for snowshoes, but yeah, cold start. Let's get into it.
The plan was to head out from Cabramurra down to Bradley and O'Brien's. We're going via Tumut Ponds. Pretty wet and horrible day, really.
Just see the road on the other side. Looks like there's a bit of snow on it. Could be interesting.
2 degrees, 3 degrees, trying to rain, not really snowing. But without the snowshoes, walking was pretty clear. We were able to cover the distance really well, really quickly.
The first day was going to be a huge elevation drop from 1,500 metres at Cabramurra all the way down to 1,000 metres at the dam wall. With 15 k's to cover, we definitely had our work cut out for us.
Even though it's got big drops and big elevation change, it just means big views. You know, the views over Tumut Ponds is absolutely spectacular, even with the really moody weather and the trying to rain. I'm having a ball.
Carrying snowshoes is heavy. It definitely tilts you back a bit, but we're going to need them. We're seeing snow on the other side of the road, on the other side of the dam. They're going to be a worthwhile carry, I'd say.
Halfway for the day, down at the dam wall, good to take a bit of shelter in the stone toilet.
2 days in a loo.
Dropping layers and gearing up, ready for a big climb up the other side.
Heading up. Starting the climb.
Hopefully we'll find some snow up here. Looking forward to putting the snowshoes on.
Still clear at this stage, but it wasn't long until we hit the snow line.
Look, you take him off a bike and look, he's getting humbled now. Nah, doing well. It's tough going now up on the hill. But it's nice to see the other side of the dam, and I mean, not a lot of people come down in here in winter, so...
It's really cool. When you're driving a car down here, you just don't get to experience this view. So we came down the road on the other side, looped around down to the water level, you can see all the way down, and we're back up the other side now, so it's a bit brutal. Pretty cool. Usually when you're driving down this road, it's got such steep drop-offs, you don't want to take your eyes off the road. So walking pace, being able to just look at it is awesome.
There's a bit of a transition period between snow and no snow. We sort of toughed it out boot packing through the skinny patches of snow. Feeling good at this stage, day one. Still a big climb, but yeah, still feeling great. But yeah, it was awesome once we got the snowshoes on, could just cruise over everything.
My back feels lighter now.
Feels better on its foot too. Did you get that? Yeah, so we got to the top of the hill, and what was planned to be just this really nice route on snowshoes turned out to be a ploughed road. Assuming that it was ploughed all the way through to Happy Jack's Road because of the plane that had crashed the week before, and search and rescue teams were up in these areas, so it had been ploughed all the way through, I think, because of that. In some ways it was a blessing in disguise. We had a little bit of mobile signal and had a look at the weather, and
oh no!
And this is our weather front that is going to roll through our position later today. Now was a race against time to get from where we were around to Bradley and O'Brien's hut, hopefully in time for us to be able to set up our tents as well.
Yeah, it was certainly good encouragement having a giant dark line of weather coming in. And nothing like a bit of impending weather to put a bit of pep in the step.
Yeah, look at that weather front that's coming. It's big and it's nasty. just made it. As you can see behind me, it's getting really dark, so we've got a very limited window. Going to try and get some tents up before it starts to rain. We've got the shelter of the hut if we need it. Probably going to eat dinner and things in here tonight, but we'll get the tents up before it starts raining. Yeah, still a little bit of a panic before that arrives. It's coming. Thunder, lightning, rain, snow. Hopefully snow. Snow would be good. We'll see what happens. Here just in time.
Wet. Speed pitch. Well, that's alright.
Just got the tents up as the rain's starting to get heavier. Hoping it might turn to snow at some stage.
So we opted for the light gloves today, but putting the tent up and collecting wood, that's a shocker.
Not the best night to spend in the tent. Nice to be next to a hut though, just so we could light a fire, dry out our gear, have a bit of shelter to eat in as well. The rain didn't turn to snow, it just rained. Just rained all night. The noise, I put in earplugs so that I could sleep, just the noise on the tent, the wind buffering as well. The wind continued pretty hardcore all night as well. Hellish night last night, really windy. Had a look at the weather station at Cabramurra, sort of gusting 70, 80 k's an hour. Packed up the tents pretty early and retreated inside the hut just to pack up everything and get ready for the day. Today's plan, head around and ultimately get to Linesmans Hut tonight. We're going to have to navigate in a whiteout pretty much, so we need to make sure we're on our game for that. Temperature is about -1 outside, so with the way the wind is, wind chill's about -10, so going to be a bit cooler today, but should be nice enough warm.
Still, Chris?
What's up?
You bet.
Really nice to be out at Bradley and O'Brien's, but I'd never been to Round Mountain Hut in the winter. You've either got to come in from Cancoban over a couple of days, Cabramurra over a couple of days, or if you're going to come from Munyang, you're going to probably take 3 days to get in there. It's very remote. Down there, taking an off-track shortcut, which is one of the nicest things about snowshoeing, is that you can typically walk where you wouldn't normally walk in the summer because of shrubs and grass and stuff. So we're taking a direct line, and I don't know, half hour or so we'll be down there.
Alrighty, we've arrived at Round Mountain Hut. Awesome to come down here in winter. Probably 10 o'clock. We're here a lot earlier than we thought we'd be, which is nice. But yeah, beautiful hut in the snow here. Got your jungle, Mount Jungle up there, just in the clouds. Alrighty. Nice hut. Nice hut. Big fireplace, couple of tables and chairs. Your beds.
So Round Mountain Hut was the last to be rebuilt in the Hut's rebuild program, which is really cool to see the job the guys had done. I hadn't got in there since it'd been finished as well. So having the ability to just duck down the hill and visit a hut that I don't normally get a chance to visit in winter was really cool. And Round Mountain is such a spot, and I don't really think many people visit it in winter. It's clagged in, it looks a bit nasty, and given the way the wind is, it's probably constant 30 to 40 k an hour. See how it goes. Super exposed on 15 Mile Ridge. You can see that short trees, snow gums have a hard time, there's rime ice, that super exposed position. You don't want to be up there in a big storm.
After summiting 15 Mile Ridge, the weather started to come back in, which made navigation a little bit tricky, but it didn't worry us because we were still making pretty good time. As we got a glimpse of Linesman's Hut in the distance, the weather really started to turn on us. With no telling of what the weather was going to do that evening, we were left with no choice but to set up our tents in the middle of a whiteout. With the tents pitched, we retreated into the hut to light a fire and start drying some gear out.
Two Linesmans Huts. This is the bigger one, which as you can see is pretty small.
A lot of room.
Bags and kit is just sort of exploded as we try to dry everything out. Before we retreat to the tents for the night.
Yeah, pretty exhausted, but we'll have a nice night here. It's very warm in the hut, which is a nice retreat.
All three of the huts that we've visited over 3 days are all part of the hut rebuild program from the 2019-2020 fires. And Peter and Roger and Megan as well, they've done an amazing job in getting these rebuilt. If it wasn't for these huts being rebuilt, we wouldn't have done this walk probably. I mean, that's the catalyst to do this walk was, or to do this snowshoe was to visit these huts. And if they weren't rebuilt and the dedication of the people rebuilding them and National Parks rebuilding them, we wouldn't be able to be sat here next to a fire, hopefully enjoying the view of Mount Jungle in the morning. Yeah, gonna stay here, eat dinner beside the fire, finish drying out my boots and things, and retreat to the tent for the night. It's gonna be nice.
Morning of day 3, just woken up and retreated into the hut, got the fire going. We're just sort of using it to sort some gear out and warm up a little bit. Nice and windy last night, but yeah, it's good having the hut as a base. So yeah, we'll keep packing up and hit the track.
be nice skiing down
The view was trying to open up. The clouds were still set in, but yeah, it was giving us little sneak peeks. It was at this point I was half regretting not bringing my skis to begin, because there was a couple of faces that I was eyeing off that would have been a fun little line to rip through.
Back down the Tumut Dam, and it's not really deep enough to snowshoe, but we did have fresh snow overnight, so there's all of about a centimetre there. So it's a little slippery on the road, we're going to have to be careful, but it looks nice, and you can sort of see our route out on the other side is the road in the distance. It looks like it's covered in about the same amount of snow, so looks good.
It's just a walk to the car at this point. Let's do it.
That looks pretty cool.
See that road hugging the mountain there, that's where we came from. And on the top where the snow is, that's where we sort of started. We're probably halfway through the day. We've got about, what is it, Chris? 6.5 Ks? Early days in the hill and feeling the burn. We'll get there though.
Good view from up here. Over on that far ridge is where we were this morning. Over in that snow line. Yeah, I love just looking at where you've come from, having a little bit of a battle against the elements, and just going, well, I did that. I've been into those places. Not many people have been in there, and getting back out and just feeling that real sense of accomplishment. The last Ks are always the hardest. We're incredibly fortunate to be able to experience Kosciuszko National Park in all its seasons. You know, not long ago, 3 months ago, we were bike packing down Happy Jack's Road, and then, you know, we've just been snowshoeing on it. It changes so much. It gives you all the seasons. It's not the same experience no matter the time of year. It really does change. Just looking at where you've been and what you've done is just really cool. Just got back to the car, big 3 days, we're done. Cruise on back to Tumut.